Books are magical. When you read a book, it's the closest thing to that scene from The Matrix where you download stuff straight into your brain.
I know Kung Fu.
By reading a book, you can get someone's experiences, someone's knowledge, someone's ideas, all for the price of a cheap dinner. In this video, I'm going to introduce my favorite books on personal finance, on investing, on money, and on business. Let's talk about it. Now, when it comes to life-changing books, you have to read the right book, but you also have to read it at the right time. Reading the right book at the wrong time doesn't have the same effect as it would as reading the right book at the right time. So I'm going to start today's video with my top 3 life-changing books. And that's not because they're better than the other books that we're going to talk about later, but it's because I read them at the right time. And the first of those books is Your Money or Your Life. This was the game changer for me. I read this right when I was starting out with personal finance, right when I was in a position where my life was going really badly. I'd lost my job, we had very little in savings, I was trying to figure out what to do, and I found this book. And this book can be life-changing because it changes how you think about money. I hadn't really thought about money before I read this book, but after reading it, it was like The Matrix, where suddenly you can see the lines of code and you understand the world as it is rather than how you thought it was. So what's so good about this book? Well, it teaches you how to think about money, think about life, and how those two relate to each other, how your life force and your money complement each other, can be traded for each other, and basically it gives you a really good way to think about personal finance. Now, the investing advice in this book is a little bit out of date because of how the economic situation has changed, but 90% of it, those kind of mindset elements, are fantastic. So I thoroughly recommend this book if you're just getting started and you really don't have a good handle on your relationship with money. Next up is Millionaire Teacher. Now, this is the book that really clarified investing for me. So the first book, Your Money or Your Life, that was talking about personal finance. This one is mainly talking about investing, how to invest, the basics of investing, how to think about investing. It's incredibly clear, it's incredibly well explained, and it's the one that I recommend to people who are just starting out and they don't really have a good idea of what investing is and how they could do it. Now, the author, Andrew Hallam, has another book, The Global Expatriates Guide to Investing. I didn't like this as much. So of the two, I would recommend Millionaire Teacher more. However, if you love Millionaire Teacher and you want to check this out, this is by no means a bad option. And my third life-changing book was Millionaire Fastlane. So the book title seems a little bit scammy and the first couple of pages are a little bit cringeworthy, but this is an excellent description of business, what business is, how you can make money by providing value to people, and that kind of way of thinking about business. So if you're self-employed, if you have some kind of side hustle, if you want to start a business, this is an excellent book for that. And those were my top 3. Those 3 books changed my life in different ways. Now, I'm also going to talk about kind of runners-up list, and all of these books are incredibly interesting, but for me, they didn't quite hit that right book at the right time kind of thing. First up, on the topic of seems a little bit scammy, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. He's on Netflix now. He's become pretty famous since he wrote this, but this is a great little book that's full of very practical advice on how to manage money, on how to manage investing, and so on. There is a pretty big US-centric element to it, but the concepts are all good. So if you want a readable and very practical guide to managing your money, this might be it. Next up is A Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Now, this is another fantastic book on investing, and this basically breaks down investing, what it's for, how to do it, how to go about it, what products to buy. It's pretty similar to Millionaire Teacher, but a bit more US centric. But again, very, very solid book. And I was on the fence as to whether to go for Millionaire Teacher or Simple Path to Wealth. The thing that swung it for me is that I read Millionaire Teacher first. Next up, a couple of books on concepts. So this first one, A Wealth of Common Sense. This is great. I love this guy's blog, Ben Carlson. He writes a really interesting daily blog about investing and so on. And this book is basically a very simple way to think about investing. And again, it's very similar to Millionaire Teacher. It's very similar to Simple Path to Wealth. I really enjoyed it. Any of those three will give you a similar result. Jonathan Clement's How to Think About Money. This is a really simple little guide to how to think about money. It's really thin, it's a quick read, it's very readable. I really enjoyed it myself. Next up, The Psychology of Money. This is a really interesting book about various ways that people kind of trick themselves or make mistakes when thinking about money. It's a huge bestseller, really interesting book. Definitely recommend. Next up, books in Japanese. So these are all by my favorite Japanese author, who is Takekawa Minako. She's a financial journalist. She writes very simple, practical guides to iDeCo, to NISA, to investing in mutual funds, to investing in general, and really recommend it. If you read Japanese or you have a spouse or family member that is more comfortable reading Japanese, these are the books to start with. Next up, a couple of books on investing specifically. Peter Lynch's Beating the Street is really interesting. He talks about how to choose stocks, how to use your experiences to help you get an edge on institutional investors. I don't personally choose stocks, I just buy index funds now. But if you're interested, this might be an interesting book to read on that. Another general investing book, Tim Hale's Smarter Investing. Now, the thing about this one is that it's written for a UK audience. So if you're British, this might be a good alternative to Millionaire Teacher or to Simple Path to Wealth. Very similar, nice breakdowns of how investing works, and it's all based on UK examples. If you have your personal finance all completely sorted, you might enjoy Die with Zero. Now, this book is all about how to think about money when you have enough money. Basic concept is that people who are good at saving money and accumulating money are not good at spending money, and maybe they should be. So this is a way to think about how to use your money to improve your life, to improve the lives of people around you. And I found it incredibly useful as I got closer to financial independence and the end of work. Finally, some more business books. I really enjoy Alex Hormozi's stuff. This is $100 Million Offers. He has a new book that came out recently, $100 Million Leads. They're both incredibly readable and incredibly useful if you have a business or if you're thinking about selling things. And in a similar vein, Russell Brunson's Secrets series, so Dotcom Secrets, Traffic Secrets, Expert Secrets. I'm really enjoying these. Very similar to Alex Hormozi, and it's all about how to sell, how to create value, how to communicate value, and how to help your ideal customers. So that was some of my favorite books on personal finance, on investing, on business, but have I missed any great ones? Have you read anything that you think should be on this list and maybe I haven't seen yet and maybe I should see? Please leave it in the comments, and if you have any questions, you can ask them there as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.